Hello, this is J.N.S, and I'm back with my third video in a row. I'm just on a roll. I ain't gonna hold you. Kind of zooted and booted in terms of my shamanistic practices. And so I really want to cover this topic. This is going to be a very esoteric channeling because I want to talk about like this conundrum that is occurring in the spiritual realm, and it's like a divided split on how those of us who are in a certain position spiritually, how should we approach humanity? Like, how should we go about dealing with the humans? Okay. And so, as you can see, the thumbnail for the video is the picture of of Magneto from X-Men. When there's I want to say it's called let me just, I want to make, because it's just a analogy that I was using to make my point in terms of, like, that's the best way I can explain what's happening in the spiritual realm amongst the angel class and amongst the egregoric class, as well as even higher than that, in terms of like, how do we approach, for those of us that decide to, who have decided to descend in human form, how do we approach our work in regards to how we deal with the humans? And so I don't know if you guys remember the X-Men series. It's an old series. Let's see, just want to Google while I'm talking real quick. Okay. And so it was the X-Men series. Let me actually share this while I'm talking. Yeah, I want to share this. And there's this scene where, well, let me just go back. Well, do you guys remember the first version where there was this scuttlebutt of whether Xavier should give intel on, like, what they call the mutants to, like, the CIA and whatnot. And so his decision was to work with them to give them this information on these mutants, and so that um, they could develop like programs and help. And I may have it, I may have the gist of the plot wrong or whatever, but um, it was it's that's the best way to explain what's going on. It's like you have one side, like in where Charles Xavier, whatever his name is, he wanted to help humans and protect them, and then work with the CIA, work with the government to, provide uh, their services to, it was just all that whole thing. And then the other side, you had Magneto, and who was like, these humans, they want to fight against us. They don't understand the quote unquote mutants. They don't understand us. They don't want to work with us. They see us as enemies. They're afraid. And so Magneto was ready to put the smack down. This is the best analogy that I can give you for what's taking place. And that's kind of the conundrum that's really happening. Like, that's really a thing that's happening in the spiritual realm. Now, I know you may feel like, okay, that's such a silly comparison to make. That's the only movie I can think of. That's the only movie I could think of in terms of the point that I'm trying to make, because we're dealing with having, like, we have this idea of those of us who are the chosen ones in terms of our soul missions here, in terms of our bloodlines and the things that we know, and the things that our very missions necessitate us, quote unquote, being chosen. And this is very different than the saying that, okay, the chosen ones choose themselves, and we can all attain ascension, we can all attain this level of awareness. Yeah, that's true. What I'm saying is, this is something that has to do with the age of the soul. And so you're we're not all equal. This is something that The higher ups know. This is something that anybody who can really see what the hell is going on, we know that. Nobody is equal. That's one thing that you have to at least accept. No one is this concept of equality in terms of it being this natural right. It's not really a thing in the universe. However, the access to equal opportunity and into we can guarantee, the universe can guarantee an equal opportunity. It cannot guarantee an equal outcome. It cannot guarantee equality in a sense that uh, some energies are going to be older, some energies are going to be wiser, some energies are going to be stronger, some energies are going to be weaker. I mean, it's just common sense if you just study the laws of the universe. Strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force, electromagnetism, gravity, resonance, consciousness, entropy. These are all phenomenons. They're not all equal. They're just not. Chemical compositions that create living organisms. They're not all equal. The fundamental building blocks of life itself, the chemical building blocks of life itself, they're not all equal. Melanin and pheomelanin are not equal. Melanin is stronger. Eumelanin, black melanin. Hydrogen, this is just common sense. Electronegativity versus polarity. This concept that humans have been fed about equality, it's been skewed. And so while everyone should have equal access to their rights, fundamental rights, philosophies regarding how we should treat one another and how we should approach one another, those are real. Those are real things. Those are real. And so, however, it's nuanced because the universe guarantees equal opportunity. And so I think what humans get confused with on this planet is they confuse equal opportunity with equality. They confuse liberation and equality. And so the issue that planet Earth is having is that there is limitations on equal opportunity. And so they've created an artificial system in which they remove the ability to access equal opportunity, and that is what is illegal in the universe's eyes. Now, this could be due to perhaps someone's perceived advantage, survival of the fittest, brute strength, law of the jungle, however you want to look at it. Might is right. I used to have this thing called might is right. It's like a philosophy. Might is right, survival of the fittest, those type of things. Um, that's a very base level of looking at it, I would say. My thing is, if you set up an artificial system based on a lie to prevent equal opportunity, that is against universal law. This is very different from equality. This is very different from trying to make everyone equal. Having access to equal opportunity is not the same as equality, because we're not guaranteeing equal outcome. And whatever you do with that same amount of infinite potential, raw potential, and star inertia, whatever you do with your star inertia is on you. Whether you want to sit on your ass all day, watch TV, chill, be a asceticist, be a mystic, be a lawyer, whatever you want to do. That's what you do with your star inertia while you're in a physical form. That's on you. We can't guarantee the outcome because it's all subjective in terms of what is the good, the well-being for your personal self. However, the access to equal opportunity should be there. And so that's what's missing from planet Earth. And that is why you have these different isms, these different forms of oppression, these different racism and sexism and religious fundamentalism, and all these things. It stems from a false illusionary system that tries to create hierarchy based on bullshit. It's not a hierarchy based on intelligence or wisdom. It's not a hierarchy based on anything relevant. It's not a hierarchy that is even based on proper bloodline rank. That's how false this whole system is. And so when I say like this conversation, is conundrum of how should the chosen ones approach humanity, I know people were probably looking for like maybe me to tackle this from an angle of biblical standpoint or even religious. That's I mean, I may get into that, but I'm looking at it from like what's happening right now in the spiritual realm. And so the best example that I can give would be, the best analogy would be like in terms of how we feel. And by that I'm speaking higher than the rank of like I'm speaking from the rank of for simplicity. Let's just speak from it from let's look at it from the angelic point of view, the watcher's point of view. Um, we're having some. It's like, do you choose the magneto style of approach to the humans, or do you choose the Charles Xavier style from X-Men? Like Charles Xavier wanted to, you know, be very wanted to placate, wanted to be very, enmeshed with the humans, wanted to be very involved and it caused a lot of deaths of the quote unquote X-Men. I don't know if you remember the second version that came out where there was like Azazel and Angel, and they were speaking in code. That movie is very esoteric. They talk to you about the Orishas. They talk to you about low key a powerful secret society. They put the stuff right out in front of your face. They just know that most humans is gonna fly over their heads, but they speaking in a lot of codes there. You know, um, it's all coded too. But when remember the second installation, I want to say it was called First Class or something like that. It's a lot of the X-Men movies, so forgive me if I don't speak in the order that they came out of. But remember when they gave Charles Xavier gave all of the intel of all the mutants to CIA, and they had all this information on them. They it was going to work together and da 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 da, and they ended up hunting them mutants down like military dogs and killing them. And remember in the second installation when they were showing like what happened to Angel and Azazel and what happened to all the other, what was it, not uh, I forgot the others' names, but it was a bunch of them that just ended up dying gruesome deaths by the humans, by the. And Magneto was very pissed at Xavier. He was like, "This is your fault. Like, look what you did. Like, these people died because you couldn't make hard decisions and because you couldn't hardline yourself and put the smack down. Not even the smack down, but put the move down in protecting your species and your kind and protecting yourself from these humans that didn't understand you in the first place, that didn't like you in the first place. And so Magneto style was, we gotta protect our own. We have to protect ourselves, and yeah, we can help and whatnot, and we'll be diplomatic if we can. But if these people don't like us, and if these people are trying to come for us, then we got to show out. We got to put them in their place. And this is honestly what's happening in the spiritual realm. This analogy of that I'm giving you about the quote unquote X-Men movie, you think it's just a movie and whatnot. No, this has been going on honestly for this. This is Here's the thing. This concept that I'm telling you about, this is obviously the concept of the fallen angels and the war that broke out 2,000 years ago. This is what the X-Men is based. It's based on many things as well. I mean, they threw in a lot of esoteric topics for those. They speak into a code to those who know their language. It's as simple as that. And so, yeah, several thousand years ago, there was a chasm, a conundrum, and you had a group of renegades that wanted to come down here for free will outside of our realm. I mean, outside of the dimension of the chaos intelligence realm. And so that was allowed to take place, to come down here. Now, whatever you think happened in terms of like what good, bad, right or wrong, what was done down here, or what did they do, and was they, um, that was a thing. The split with the angelic realm, that was a thing. or you could say interdimensional realm. That happened thousands and thousands of years ago. And some of the ilk of the angel class of the angelic realm had an issue with it. Some didn't. Some was indifferent. I'm going to speak to you from my past life. At that time, honestly, didn't care. There was some of us that just didn't give a shit. It was like, leave me out of this. We understand both sides, and we rolling with who we roll with. That's your decision. That's your decision. And so here, fast forward, we're not having the same issue again when it comes to renegade and rebellion towards God. That's not the issue. So if that's what you're thinking, I'm going to come at this from this angle from, that's not the issue at all. Because we are allowed and sanctioned to have this. We are allowed to have this conversation on approach. In the spiritual realm, we are allowed to have this conversation of how we're going to approach humans, humanity, and planet Earth in terms of the knowledge we give out, how we work with them, how we approach them, the new change of guard and governance. We are allowed to have that conversation because we are not talking about renegade or rebellion against God. That's not the point of me talking about this. When I say chosen ones, how should we approach humanity? I'm just giving you how the context of the conundrum that happened before a couple thousand years ago. Now we're at the space of where, okay, we are going to God and ask and telling God that our approach or whatever our approach is not working. We think that we need to come up with a new one. And so we are being told, okay, come up with a new one. Discuss it amongst yourselves and see what you guys agree upon. And so that's where we're at now. And we are given full clearance. Some of us rank higher than others in this spiritual army, in this spiritual sense. And so some of us have a little more rank and pull than others, and even a little more influence. But nonetheless, we are at the conundrum with how do we approach the humans, because we got a group of them that are scared of us, that look at us as people that they should fear, take out, kill. And this is deeper than just the human level, because it is lower level astral parasites. It is even lost souls. When we talk about the spiritual thing, it's also coming from species that are not just human, right? That are also against us, that feel like they have to fight us. And so we're like, hold up, what's going on here? Like, we didn't come down. We're not here to hurt nobody or harm nobody. Or why are we being so misunderstood? Why are we being targeted? Like, why are we as chosen ones, And maybe I shouldn't have used the word chosen ones, because this is a bit different, because a regular human could just be a chosen one, right? Like, this is something that this is like really like high level spiritual stuff that I'm talking. And so it's like, do we flex? Do we have compassion? Do we take, again, this analogy that I talk about with X-Men? Do we take the approach of the Charles Xavier, where we end up losing some of our own kind, which we have done in the past for aeons? This has been happening, and every time we have sent a quote unquote messenger, a prophet, ascended master, they usually do get smacked up and go through some horrific things on this planet, mostly due to interdimensional beings that are on of a lower level, as well as humanity. And so for a while, like that's just what we felt we signed up for. It's nothing we could do. They don't understand. You have to be compassionate. They've been hurt. They've been brainwashed. They've been this. They've been that. They don't know. This is their level of awareness. All this shit. For thousands of years. And then it's 2024, and then we keep like screaming from the rooftop. You have so many prophets. You have so many teachers and spiritualists and information, just information itself, the information freely available. Like, you have the internet, anybody can Google something in 5 seconds and they'll get access to pretty much anything they would like to get access to. You find anything out. And so we're still not understanding what is going on, when it comes to For one, humans not being courageous enough to stand up for themselves, even in face of knowing the truth, or they are attacking truth tellers, and and so we're like, okay, there is a thing of subliminal mind control going on down here, is it, you're trying to think of like what the hell is really up, because you guys should be awakening faster, but also um, it takes a collective effort. It takes a collective effort, and it can't just be one or two people out speaking the truth. It cannot be just one, 5, 10 people out, risking their selves, risking their livelihoods, risking everything to get information out to, and the rest of the humans, they bury their heads in the sand, or they throw, even worse, they throw their prophets to the wolves to be killed, to be sacrificed, and and hopes for so that as long as it's not happening to me type of mentality. This is the mentality that humans have. As long as it's not happening to me, I'll bury my head in the sand. What is in it for me? How much money can I make from it? How much are you going to pay me to throw them under the bus? How much do I get if I sell them out? That type of energy is still very rampant on this planet, and it is a very, very low vibration to us, to those of my ilk, chosen ones. We can't understand, I can't relate to that energy. And so it's like, well, what is our approach? Do we take the approach of, oh yeah, we're gonna help and we're gonna work with it, and then get constantly backstabbed by the humans, or do we take the Magneto approach? Magneto wasn't with that bullshit. Even when you watch the last installment, Dark Phoenix, you see how he had took those of his ilk and they went off separately and built their own little homestead, nice little intentional community for themselves. You have that element of it, but then also throughout he was showing, you know, this he was showing a whole nother side. He really played uh, uh, the opposite role of Charles Xavier. Charles Xavier got a lot of mutants fucking killed because of his actions. He really did. Being soft, being, I don't know what that was. And then it fucked a lot of people up, of his kind up. And where Magneto was like, no, I'm going to look out for my kind. We need, like if these humans are not going to be respectful and listen, and, if they're going to give you their ass to kiss, you got to give them your ass to kiss. That's how Magneto was. His character was very different from Charles Xavier. So that's why I make that analogy, because it is what's happening in the spiritual realm. It's like he didn't think that there was a possibility of peaceful human mutant coexistence. And so his aim was to conquer the world, to enable the mutants, because he felt that they were superior, to replace the humans as dominant. See, that was the role that he played. And so his friend Professor X had a different philosophy, and that caused a rift in their friendship. Okay. And so it was a very different conundrum. And so that's kind of what's happening now, believe it or not. It's more so of like, do you, can there be peaceful human interdimensional coexistence? Unfortunately, there are different levels of interdimensional beings on this planet, some of which are very sinister and dark, that seek to enslave humans. They do seek to enslave. They already have. It's not even they seek to. They already have. And so that will never be something that we agree to. And in that case, for one, most humans are not even aware of it. But then two, yes, if other beings come and tell you, like, look, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, and you need to fight for yourself, or you need to stand up for yourself, that's one thing. But to the point where the chosen ones are the ones that get targeted by the very system, because we are here to whether that be help us rise the ascension of the planet, just our very presence uplifts the planet because of our interests, because of the things we decide to do for humanity. That the thing, like for instance, you have a Dr. Sebi. Just his interest alone raised the vibration of the planet because he was helping people through teaching them about the mucus-free diet, alkaline diet. Like that's his interest. So this is very, very important because it's not so much like, oh, people come down here and we have to save the human, we have to be a savior. This is very different. Just your interest alone could raise the frequency of the planet, just of the service that you could do throughout your life. So Dr. Sebi is a version of that. You have Thomas Sankara. Just his interest alone raised the vibration of this entire planet. Study the life of Thomas Sankara. Just the interest alone. Same with Malcolm X. Just the interest, just the things that they got into, what they was about, their being, their presence. Even if you study my body of work, my interests, the information itself, it raises the vibration of the planet. I don't have to try to save anyone or try to, it's just the interest. Unfortunately, with that being said, so for many of you that don't understand, like, well, it's just, you don't understand why you as a chosen one could be being targeted, or you could be going through some of the things that you're going through. You're dealing with monitoring spirits. You're dealing with all types of things with the Citizen Core Fusion Center surveillance stuff that they got going on down here. You may be dealing with all that. Maybe you're not. But most of you, if you're a chosen one, you're most likely dealing with that. You're most likely already been identified. And you're wondering why. I'm not even well known. I don't have a following. Why? It's most likely your interest. Your interest alone can raise the vibration of this planet. Say you're someone like I give you the example the other day when I talked about the brothers who invented one of the guys invented how to run cars off of water, how to run a car engine off of water. Boom, that was his interest. He actually invented that. The other black guy invented how to turn air into water. Boom, that was his interest. That raises the vibration of the planet. When you think of very clever ways of renewable electricity, renewable energies, rather, sorry, renewable energy. Nikola Tesla, just his interest alone raised the vibration of the planet. He was talking about the secret codes of 369. He was talking about free electricity. He was talking about the elements of electromagnetism. Those are things that just raise the vibration itself. And so they go after people like that. These are the natural inclinations of your soul, the natural inclinations of your soul mission, things you were put on this planet to do. It don't have to be on a big level like that. It could be something much smaller as well. Things that there's people that start these nonprofits, right? To help children, to really help children, not no scam, like really, really helping people. It's people that set up things for Black Americans, for community gardens, all types of things that people do. It's just your interests. And it ripple effects, like a ripple, a wave. It's an energy, so it's a frequency, it's an aura that you're carrying that's ushering out into the entire planet, seen and unseen, known and unknown. And so therefore, certain amount of you that are chosen ones, whether you are in disguise, whether you know you're in disguise or not, some of you are not aware of your galactic star seed epigenetics. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you fall into that category, just your interests, you're chosen ones. Unfortunately, it comes with targeting from these NPCs, or what we call humans, who are unaware. Okay, and so they are programmed by the algorithm of this system matrix, the hell matrix, that gets off on very low vibration, that runs off of the low vibration of human collective consciousness, whether that be fear, abuse, trauma, sex, low level sex, mind you, not creative, high vibrational sex, distraction from soul missions, low level contractual obligation. This is the thing the system runs by. Fake illusionary conceptions. It's a simulation within a simulation. And so that is what this system gets off on. That's how it runs. And so anytime you have certain people come in a mix to glitch that matrix, glitch this system just from their interests, whether they be interested, some people is interested in teaching how to desalinate ocean water so that in a healthy manner that's not harmful to the planet. What if you're someone that thinks of someone going to invent a way to desalinate water, salt water, ocean water? People are thinking about these things. I used to think about those things when I was a young girl. I won't say young. I was in my 20s, early 20s. When I was in my early 20s, I used to think of like, I used to like study desalination systems, and I used to see how bulky they were. I know they had one in Angola that I was studying at the time. And I was thinking, like, it would be really cool if we can invent some cool ways to do that on the fly and make it really accessible and cheap. Because right now, like at that time, it was like these big, bulky desalination machines. You know, I'm just giving an example of just how someone's interest, or if someone is interested into enlightenment, like me. You know, you're going to have some mystics. That's why spiritualists are always under attack by this system. Spiritualists are always, because we're always concerned with going to the next level. We're always concerned with self development. We're concerned with soul awakening, and we're concerned with being an example for other people, helping other people. And they come to us with questions. They come to us when they know some things. We want to help them, and you know, and so that also puts a target on us. And so in that event, I say all these to say is that that could be, that's usually the main reason. So on top of being a chosen one, on top of being having certain bloodline connections, rank connections, your spiritual epigenetics as well. Um, those are all the reasons for why you could be someone who becomes targeted as a chosen one. So for those of us that are aware of our starseed epigenetics, we realize that we have an advantage. We realize that we're more powerful than most of the people around us, usually more intelligent, usually more gifted. And this is not just bragging, this is just facts. So that breeds obviously a lot of jealousy amongst the people that don't have that. And so those are the ones that usually come after us. They usually come after us at the behest of intelligence agencies. Sometimes it's your own family. It could be something as simple as your own family. If you are, say, like a scholar or a writer, like me, I write a lot. Or you get into activism or something where you're speaking out a lot about for humanity, or speaking out a lot, then you're most likely you'll come under it'll be much sinister. It's not just a jealousy from a family. Like, you're dealing with the whole government on your back. You're dealing with intelligence agencies and secret societies and whatnot trying to get you out the paint. This is how serious this stuff can get. And so, but hopefully no one has to deal with that. I know I'm dealing with it, but I'm just saying, like, if hopefully it doesn't get that far for some of you. But for those of us who know exactly where we're from, exactly who we are, we know exactly who's doing the targeting, we have the pinpoint, we realize, you know, we can see it on a spiritual level because we're clairvoyant. We are the ones that are connected to the Godhead, and we are the ones that are privy to what's going on in the Council of 99, which is above this anything in this earthly realm. I know they have their councils here, the Galactic Federation and whatnot. I'm talking way higher than that. And so we are literally in a conundrum of how should we approach humanity? Like, how should we approach their systems? It's some of it is not humanity. Some of it is obviously an interdimensional group that is posing as humans as well. You have that aspect of it too. They're actually lower than humans, but humans don't know that. And so they end up getting tricked as well. So you have an element of that as well. And so we're compassionate towards that element of it, but to the point where you have humans themselves also participating in campaigns against the chosen ones. How do we handle them, as well as how do we handle the system? How do we handle the interdimensional beings that are putting the battery in their back, who have lied and who have deceived and don't? And so the issue that we're having is we're dealing with a very arrogant species that don't know shit. Uh, and again, it's not just human species; it's a couple of them down here. And so it's like, hmm, do you take the Magneto approach? Do you take the Charles Xavier approach? That's just me simplifying it because it is much more nuanced because it's not everybody. And so it's a divided split. I think that it's a conversation that, I'm not like going to get in trouble for giving out like this type of intel from the spiritual realm of what's going on. Um, if anything that I have said, it's stuff that is most likely already known. If it's not already known, because some of it is not, it's not anything that is going to step on the toes of what the higher realm and what's really going on. It's not going to step on the plans of anything that's going on. Um, and so this little conversation with me talking about the chosen ones and the divided split in the spiritual realm of how we will go about approaching humanity is not a big deal. It's something that you can clearly feel too, and it's something that has happened before. Same thing happened with the Anunnaki. You see how the Anunnaki dealt with your ass. We ain't thinking about doing that as the ancient ones. You see how the Anunnaki did you. See how the Dracos did you. and I don't agree with that. I didn't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. You see how the Nephilim did you. I don't agree with that. And so um I'm all for the liberation of humanity because I obviously have human Homo sapien light code. Um and I do know that humans are a hybridization of various species, and that's not a bad thing. That doesn't make a human inferior to the other species. It may mean that a species have higher uh, awareness than you. It could mean that they can possibly do more, or they may know more, but it doesn't mean you're inferior as a human. And so I don't agree with enslaving humanity and doing humanity dirty and lying and keeping information on it, or treating them like they just a scum of the. I don't agree with that. That's not what I would agree to. But I do think that um, there needs to be something in place where we protect ourselves more from certain very low astral parasites, low vibrational humans, very very low level stuff. I do think that we need to agree and we need to arm ourselves better in that sense. And it's also, when I'm saying chosen ones, Homo sapiens can fit in this category of what I'm talking about. Because again, there are beings on this planet that are disguised as human. It's a lot of them, and they're not. And it's unfortunate because a lot of humanity's DNA has been dormant, and so they have not quite awakened to who they are, and so they may not know of what's going on. That's why I was talking about in the last video with the Ryan Garcia video, where there are entities awakening certain humans, and as you in Blitzkrieg awakening, where you will come into the realization of who you are. It's being forced upon you if you haven't realized. It's being forced upon you because of the day and age that we are in. It's like, boom, aha, that's you're gonna get your awakening, and no matter how much you don't like it, or no matter, you'll be okay. And so another thing that certain species are being told is get it done. I don't care, no matter which way you get it done, wake that motherfucker up. Wake this person up. They was been supposed to wake up. They was been supposed to do the A, B, and C by this timeline. They had a contractual obligation by this, the A, B, and C. Oh shoot, someone just jumped on my computer. Uh wait, I already just paid this. It's annoying when why are they saying I just paid it? Okay, anyways. Like the notifications pop up on your screen and whatnot. Nonetheless, it's like get it done, wake that person up. And that's what we're dealing with. That's really That's the situation we're dealing with. But then it's like, should we put our foot down a little bit more? I do know that I do know that the ancient ones, their approach is that they are going to be out in the open. They don't give a damn about hiding. They don't feel the need to hide. They don't feel the need to lie. They are going to be out in the open, just like how they was in the days of when ancient Egypt civilization, in this valley civilization, where it was just out in the open like that. You knew the pharaohs was the descendants of very powerful deities. Um, they were practicing esotericists who had very much ancient knowledge of their mystery schools and sciences and intergalactic mentalism and how to control this Dharma urge. That was just a known thing back then. And they give you the smackdown, and it was just it. Nobody cared. Just like how the Anunnaki was out. You see, matter of fact, now that let's go deep. Let's go deep, because I'm about to show you some. Instead of just giving you the movie analogy, let's actually get into some real human history. You see how these photos where they had, see how small the humans are compared to the Anunnaki. I'm trying to find the ones where they would show you. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. You see this type of stuff? This is literally the day and age that we're going back into. Just so you know, these ancient ones are going to be out in the open. They don't give a damn. They don't think like how the other ones, like the ones that's currently ruling over you, because what they're doing is illegal. So everything they've done has been so illegal, and their time is so limited, and their power is so limited because it was stolen knowledge, stolen power, and so it's so limited. It's not, and so knowledge is power, and so they figure if they keep the knowledge from you and keep understanding from you and enlightenment from you, then they can reign in power. And see, back then, believe it or not, information was being taught to you. You did have understanding of some of these let's actually just go to, like, let's look at some of these Temple of Karnak. You know, knowledge of how to build certain things was freely given. A lot of it was electromagnetic levitation through intergalactic mentalism. These were sciences that the priest, as well as and again, most pharaohs were priests. You could not get into these levels of rulership, and it is, well, if you were a king or a queen in any royal bloodline. It's even like that to today, to a much sinister extent. But back then, it's like you had to be, you were a priestess, you were an esotericist, you had deep understanding of intergalactic mentalism science. This is ancient Atlantean teachings. You had to have known it in order to build a civilization from the mind up. Obviously, you had architects, and you had mathematicians and scientists. You had those things, but the level of power and of mind knowledge that a pharaoh, a queen, or a king would have had at this time was very insurmountable. And so you knew, that's why I talked about in one of my videos about the original honeycomb mind teachings of monarch mentalism. Right now you see a perversion of that. That was a real science. It was from the Atlantean dimension. I'm teaching the proper form of that. And luckily the gods chose me to reorient the monarch stuff that was going on with me to the proper forms of the monarch mentalism teachings of the Atlantean dimension. I'm very thankful and grateful for that. And so pretty much you get snapshots of consciousness and downloads of how to build from the mind's eye out on out. And so they don't want humans knowing this information. They don't want, it's not something that, they really want you thinking on and pondering on today. But we're back in this day. We're back in a golden age, where you're going to be building things from the mind's eye using the electromagnetic levitation. Okay, imagine a 3D printing system on steroids. Again, everything doesn't have to be on, everything right now is on 3D. You have to always see it. But these were things being done through they have crystal formation levitation as well. This is some powerful, deep stuff. I know we don't like to talk about it, maybe don't even know about it, but this is the day and age we're going back into. When we talk about the age of the divine feminine, when we talk about the change of guard going back into the rightful heirs for planet Earth for the time being. Not that doesn't mean we're always going to be here. We even have intentions on ruling over people and enslaving. That's not the intentions here. Is to catch people up and keep it moving. Now, whatever you do after that, this is the last time. After, if you want to go out like Mars went out, because Mars used to have people on in the species. Everybody know that Mars was a civilization. Mars was popping at one point. Mars is a wasteland now. They bombed each other into oblivion. If you don't know that, I mean, that's very obvious. I knew that ever since I was a little kid. I'm not trying to be condescending. It's just that every time we try to give you information, try to tell you something, you get hard headed and reject it. And then we're looking like, okay, who are these people to reject information and they don't know shit? And it's like, and then that's when other interdimensional beings, that's why they flex on you. That's why the Anunnaki flexed on you. That's why people flex on you. Because you reject things that are in your best interests. We tell you these things and you just reject, and take shortcuts and to go the lazy route. And this is what humanity has done. This is the whole system of politics, the whole system of Hollywood, the whole systems, they're based on lazy systems. While real talented people have to do horrific things just to get put on. And it's very unfair. And then everybody knows about it, but nobody challenges it. And then the few people that do challenge it, they get killed or they get pushed out the paint, and everybody laughs and make a mockery of it. Them days are gone. Because the truth, this is the age of the truth teller. This is the age of the prophet. This is the age of Christ consciousness, the divine feminine. And so the truth tellers will get their shake. Those who are gifted and talented, we will get our shake. It's gifted and talented motherfuckers out here that singing, dancing, so many different creations of art, so many different creations of different things they have in their head with science and mathematics, and we can't get no shake unless we do some strange for a piece of change. Them days are gone. A lot of us, a lot of people have been crushed by this system, and their talent never seen because they wouldn't suck some dick to get put on, or because they wouldn't eat some ass to get put on. And this is what we've been dealing with. And that system is a wicked system, and it is falling, and it will fall. Okay, it makes no sense how talented people that are very gifted, that have natural merit, natural bloodline to do the things that they are gifted to do, why they cannot get a shake, or they get shadow banned, or they get blacklisted, or because they won't fall with this satanic, wicked system. And so because of that, this system will fall. And that's a fact, because we are going back into the ages of high powered mind science. We're going back into the age of the divine feminine, intergalactic mentalism. High level levitation is based on your vibration and frequency. If you cannot get up there, you will be filtered off into what's high level of consciousness, away from the gifted ones. You're not going to be able to siphon someone's energy, sacrifice somebody for their gifts, and all this nonsense. All that whole day is done. That whole concept is done. Okay. And so where we're going to release some high mind science to you, it's already been released. And we're going to be teaching some new things, some new mudras, new rites of cleansing, different types of things. We have all different types of mudras to help for ushering this age of what I'm talking about. You know how you have old mudras, you have Gaian mudra, and all different types of Surya mudra and whatnot. Now we got some new things, very new mudras. What does it do? It helps ascension of yourself. It helps cleansing of the electrons at will, because that's what helps keep the ascension process going, is the everlasting flow of the cosmic realm within our realm, the connection between our astral body and our physical body, to constantly give information from the astral body to the physical body. There's a certain way that you got to do this. This is very ancient secret teaching that is now publicly available. I'm not sharing it because, like, I'm not sharing it like trying to give out people's business. This information is now available of how to receive information from your astral cord, from the valve of your astral cord, from your astral body to your physical body. Now, your astral body, what I teach is, we teach that we're connecting that to the intergalactic mental realm, which is the galaxy. And so all of the mudras that I teach is to connect you to the center of the galaxy for the replenishing of electrons, replenishing of photons, and creation of higher, stronger auric fields, and being able to better wield electromagnetism. Some of that information is released. Most of it is. Some of it is not. Some of it I have to physically teach you. Like, I have to physically show the mudras, the rites, the actual body work that's involved in it. And so I'll be doing that. But we are going back to the age of the ancient ones. Okay. And so when we show you, when we give you certain information, and we see you either align with a wicked dying system, because this is what humans are doing. They're aligning with a dying system because they're so brainwashed. It's like, what do you do with a group of people in that condition that's that brainwashed and that far gone? Do you go with the fire next time route? Oh, God said it won't be water next time. It'll be fire next time. You hit them with the solar flares. Or do you teach? Do you just be compassionate? Do you send a bunch of ascended masters down? Do you send a bunch of angels down? What the hell are we going to do? How do we protect ourselves? Because they got a wicked system set up here. And they turn their NPCs on us. They turn their algorithm on us. And a lot of these humans are bots, man. I'm even going to hold you. And so, like, how do we protect ourselves against that? Do we put the smackdown move and just start cleansing this bitch? Like, what do we do? And so that's what those are some of the things that we're thinking about. Sure. Sure. And so it's something that we will eventually, you'll see the outcome of that. I do know solar flares is one of them, but that's for cleansing purposes. We do sit the I don't want to get into that, but they have been warning shots sent, not to humans but to the beings that roll over you. Multiple, you should pay attention. Multiple warning shots to them, because they the ones that put the battery in your back. Like, some of the interdimensional beings, we do see you guys as victims of circumstance, victims, and whatnot, but then some don't. Some do not see you as victims. Some see you as willing participants that are just as wicked as the interdimensional beings that's rolling over you. Some don't see any different. And so, how do I feel? I feel like it can be both and. I don't feel like it's one or the other. I think that many humans are victims. Many humans don't know any better. And then I do think that there are some that are just that far gone. And I do think that there are some that are NPCs. They don't have souls, or their soul is gone. You can see that in their eyes. Like, a lot of these people, they gone. And so, or they pineal, something off with it's either they pineal gland is closed, so calcified, or their soul's been sucked. Like, some of the humans, or you could look and you could tell that they possess, like, they're not even, it's not a human, it's somebody is posing as that looks like flesh, but they're not really flesh. In the eyes, you can see it in the eyes. It's all in the eyes. And so we have to deal with that. I do think anybody that's participating in targeted harassment campaigns, if you're a human doing that, yeah, I find that you are a permanent traitor to humanity. And that's where with me, all bets is off. And when it comes to just a regular human, it's like, okay, I can have compassion. But for those that's participating in the targeted harassment of chosen ones and God's people, and because you get a paycheck out of it, or because you're scared they're gonna do it to you, or blah blah blah, or they threaten your family, they threaten your kids, and I do think that is being a traitor to humanity. I do. And that is something that me personally, I am petitioning with God as a chief architect. I'm petitioning hard, heavy on that. Oh, we want to smack down on that shit. I want to smack down hard and heavy. And I don't care if it was a family member who did. I don't care anybody that participated in that shit and ruined a lot of lives with this, with that system. And you guys know what I'm talking about. They ruined a lot of lives with that. And so that system I do know will be exposed. But I want the whole list of. I want everybody who was. I want that whole list to be revealed, because a lot of it is commonplace civilians, low level military involved in it, Masons. I want a whole list, and so, um, well, that's something that I do know in the spiritual realm is being worked on. Mark my words. Matter of fact, so you guys have some context because I am speaking in code, kind of, but so you guys will know what the fuck I'm talking about. This stuff right here. This now I'll scan. You could pause and read through it. This will be exposed on a global scale, and we do want the list of the names of everyone involved in it publicly known, as well as addresses. I don't have to do anything. I can literally talk my shit, right, and be like, oh, I'm just talking shit. But like in the spiritual realm, I know it'll get taken care of. This person died giving out this information, and look at his title. He was this man is got murdered behind giving out this information to you guys. He was the FBI bureau chief, senior special agent in charge. He's dead now, but he was giving you the smackdown of what the hell is going on down here. And so, even though I'm speaking in Coney, like just blurt it out, put two and two together, because I am talking to a very specific group of people, and I know like I really think like this is how much they blacklisted my content and try to shadow my voice. I wouldn't be shocked if like the person that the one or two people that do be or like like the bit of views that play live. I really think that they stream. I think that somebody streams my content in like some sort of underground venue to a larger group of people just to keep me from getting views. They do. I'm telling you, it's weird. It's weird. Like the extremes they go to. The extremes they go to. I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers are scared to death of the knowledge I have. And I'm not being arrogant. It's just facts. I know what I go through behind the scenes. I don't tell you guys everything I go through. Every time I do a video, if I start talking about a certain topic, shit start banging around or motherfuckers start banging on a window or, weird shit. Just like in that Ryan Garcia video. Like, or some, you hear it yourself. So let's not play stupid. But, yeah, we want to smack down. I'm telling you, we smacking down on this planet because we sent many warnings. We are very, very gracious, kind, very loving people. I'm a very loving species. I'm a very loving, very loving, very loving person. And it's like you could push and deceive and push and push and push an angelic being, a chosen one to a certain extent. And they got it. They got to release the chopper. And I'm talking about a spiritual chopper. I'm not talking about me literally going to get something. And, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about spiritual. Walk with me. And so you're going to see a lot of spiritual things happen. Because this man ain't deserved that. And none of the people that's going through this. I'm going through this. There's a lot of people that's going through this. And they do have low level. And what hurts me is there are some of my own people that I know for a fact are participating in stuff like this. Just like what I'm showing you on your screen. Against me. That's what hurts. And I ain't do nothing but be there for my people. And so I think that's the fine line between justice and vengeance, and then being able to do certain things, having certain spiritual rank rather, and knowing how to dole out that justice in a way where you're not letting it darken your soul or taint your soul. One can say, well, you have to make hard decisions in certain positions of the heavenly realm, and it's very true. You do have to. and you don't want to flex out of ego, but you have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. And so when it comes to us chosen ones who have been dealing with stuff like this, and you have brave people come forward and try to give out information and be like, oh, this is what they're doing. Yeah, yeah. Those that's participated in things of this nature, we do find you a traitor to humanity and a traitor to universal law, violator of universal law. It's an illegal act all around, and so this will be exposed. This program, this whole entire apparatus, it will be exposed on very large levels, and those who are participating in the spiritual realm will be brought to ruins, complete ruins. And this is stuff that me, who talks to God, who has very much quantum entanglement sessions with God, this is what I want done. This is what we want done. It's as simple as that. I don't get the scoop on everything, and I don't need to scoop on everything. I don't need to scoop on everything. But I know justice. I know what justice looks like. And I don't think it's right. I don't think it's cool that good people have to suffer because of the unsophisticated and unevolved uh, vibration of other people. The unevolved, unenlightened, unintelligent of us uh, gets to be in a certain position because they take a shortcut, because they willing to do immoral things that are against their soul. They're willing to sell their souls, and then the rest of us who are not willing to do that, but actually have the gifts, actually have the talent and the wherewithal. We gotta get put through uh, weird ass campaigns and harassment campaigns because we don't want to fall in line with a satanic devil system. And so we are going into a new age. We are going into a new day. We are going into the age of divine feminine, and we will not be dealing with none of this bullshit that's on this planet. It's getting cleansed up. It's getting cleansed up immediately. Now, we've been talking about earlier to my point about equality versus equity versus equal opportunity to equal opportunity. That is something that the ancient ones know how to do with sophisticated with sophisticated knowledge. Okay, they know how to create those systems of equal opportunity for humans. That does not guarantee equal outcome. That does not mean you're all equal. If you do not put the work in and somebody else spends time doing the work and developing of the self or doing whatever it is, but any craft, whatever field it is, you're not going to be equal. A person that has experience of 60 years on a job, and as let's give an example, 60 years as an architect, and then you only got 2 motherfucking years as an architect, but you went to school or something. Y'all not equal. You're not on their level. You're just not on their motherfucking level. Somebody that's been a teacher, say, for 30 years, and you just graduated and you just taught your first year. What would make you think that you're on the person that's been around for 30 years, that's been teaching for 30 years? What would make you think that y'all motherfucking equal and on the same level? Y'all not. That's the same thing in the spiritual realm, and that's the same thing in interdimensionally. That's the same thing, period. That's the same thing with the elements. That's the same thing with, it's just nature. Now, you cannot develop a whole artificial system of equality, of inequality based on a fucking lie. You can't do that, because then it's a fragile system and it's going to fall. It will inevitably be exposed and fall. And that's what's happening now. A system that was built on lies. It's inevitable to fall, because the people will awaken. Those who you're trying to oppress or trying to brainwash or trying to guilt trip or they're going to wake up. They're going to see the truth. And then they're going to fight back, or then they're going to go, or if not fight back, they're going to go and do their own thing, and our vibration is going to be too high where you can't even touch them. You can't fuck with them. That's what's happened here. It's the same thing with the soul level. If you don't spent 1,000 lifetimes on this planet, and you got a person that's only been here 2 lifetimes, y'all not equal. That person is considerably more mature than you, and whatnot. A human and angel are not equal in intelligence. A jinn and a human is not even equal in intelligence. Let's be real. That's why they always tricking your asses, because they know that you're greedy, and they know that you're fearful, and they know that they can placate to your lower carnalities, and so they trick your ass easily for material gain. They know you want material things, but they're not cool. I won't agree with everything they do either. I'm not saying I agree with what they do, but sometimes I understand it, because you're very arrogant as humans, and you don't want to fucking listen. And this is why angels are very tough with you. Don't take no shit from you. And I don't care how much you try to say. Yeah, there's angels that are very, very soft and loving. You better go with some of them females. But like the male angels, oh, they don't have a lot of patience. And I was just saying this in the early video, the Ryan Garcia video. They don't have a lot of patience like that. They will tell you the truth. They will give you discipline. They will push you and challenge you. Keep it real with you. They don't have all that mouth that you be giving. You don't want to listen. You don't want to. No. Mm-mm. Okay, you figure it out then. Why the fuck you call me then? Why you summon? Why the fuck did you call on me then? If you don't want to do the work. So okay, so go take a shortcut then, and then you go and take a shortcut. Then you end up in a worse situation. This is what humans do, and so that is why there's a lot of frustration. As much as you think that everybody is just going to baby humanity, and baby you to death, and love on you to death. No, because part of the reason why this planet is the way it is because of it is not. You got to take some accountability too, because these shadows that's on this planet is the collective reservoir of our human consciousness, the fear of the human collective, the anxieties of the demons and the shadows of the human collective. That's what we're dealing with. And so only we can change this collectively. Obviously, if you're an individual, you can obviously just say to hell with humanity and do your own thing, and be an individual, of course, a tribe of one, and uh, just focus on yourself and become. And if you realize that everybody is doing this NPC mode, hive mind, not thinking for themselves. If you realize that, I mean, sometimes it is best to lose the crowd. Sometimes it is best to just go at it alone. But if you guys are saying you guys want these changes, you want the Christ consciousness, you want the heaven on earth, you summon, and you praying so hard for God to come back, you're praying for God intervention, all these things. Okay, when you get it, and we send our prophets, and we send our angels, and we send our messengers, and then you treat them like crap, and then you kill them, and then you turn on them, then what? People tell you high level information, you don't believe it, you think that they're crazy. And so what do y'all want? So okay, you figure it out then. You know what's best. You figure it out. That's where some of us. That's why a lot of interdimensional beings don't come to planet Earth. They think planet Earth is ghetto as hell, and they think that you're on a free will. All the information that you need to enlighten yourself is on this planet, and it is true. It is on this planet. All the information that you need to enlighten yourself is available on planet Earth, by the way. And so if you haven't figured, if you can't balance out distraction and balance out pleasure and your devotion to your ascension, that's on you. That's how many of them feel. They also feel that, okay, you're in a free will planet. You have a right to self-destruct. Uh, you have a right to ascend. You have a right to do whatever you want. And so that's not our problem. If y'all can't figure that out, if that's what y'all doing down there, that's on you, because it's freely available for all the information that you need to enlighten yourself into ascend. It's freely been available on this planet for at least 10,000 years. It's not even hidden. Some of it is hidden, but a lot of it is not even hidden. Not in 2023, not in 2024. In 2024, that information is not hidden at all. It is all available. Everything you need to enlighten yourself. You don't need nothing that's outside of yourself, too. That's the big kicker. Yeah, you can have some text and whatnot, but we're not even in the day and age where you need a bunch of text. It's okay if you're just now starting out, maybe. But a lot of us are at a certain age where we can get downloads. A lot of us are at a certain age where we would get dreams. or some of you have always been getting dreams. We don't need, you know, but if you are looking for context, or if you're looking for confirmation of some of the things that you have been getting from the universe, or what you've been intuitively knowing, yeah, you could find it in many of these ancient texts. It's been on this stuff has been around for thousands and thousands of years. A lot of this stuff we move past beyond. That's why we're developing new mudras, new sciences, new ways of looking at the world, new concepts. It's either stuff that's being revived that was completely suppressed and amazingly um, amazingly suppressed from you guys. Like there is some revitalization of that. Like I said, a lot of people are going to be looking at a lot of the Gnostic teachings again. People are going to be looking at Rig Veda and all types of. They're going to be parsing through the information because this there's going to be is going to hit you smack dab that a lot of the stuff that those of us that were called conspiracy theorists, those of us that were called quote unquote crazy, y'all gonna be looking real stupid pretty soon because we are the ones that's gonna be right and we're the ones that are gonna be vindicated. And so, uh, and this is not just like I know it may come off like, oh my gosh, you're so, you know, egoic and resentful. That could be true, but at the same time, it's like people took a lot of hits, for to get information to you. Uh, or to tell you things, or to keep true to their spirit in a way where they did not just seek to enlighten themselves. They sought to help other people as well, freely of their time and freely of their energy, of their love, and only for their own people to feed them to the wolves. And so, yeah, it's like there gotta be atonement for that in the spiritual realm, and it is gonna be. And so you see the situation with Ryan Garcia just recently. He come out with a video. you know uh, he talking completely different now. Like they forced him to read a script or something, and he said it like, people not having my back. People don't have your back when you go out and speak the truth, because the first thing they try to say is you're crazy or something. And so sometimes people wonder, is it even worth it? And that's why a lot of people don't speak out. That's why a lot of people don't. That's why humanity is in the position that it's in the condition that it's in. Because you see something, you don't say something. Everything on this planet is, as long as it's not me, I'll be good. As long as I get my check, I'll be good. As long as it's not me. And that is dangerous. And then your need to feel superior when you're not, because you don't put in the work. Your need to feel superior based on a lie. If you are superior, then you just are superior. That can't be contested. Like, some people just are, they have superior gifts. Michael Jackson had a superior gift. Ramana Maharshi. There's just some people that are superior. It just is what it is. But I'm talking about humanity. Certain groups of people within humanity, they like to feel superior based on a lie. And so that kind of thing, based on false ego. Now that, no. And so we have to deal with these type of energies on this planet, where there are humans that do not want to do the work at all, take shortcuts, don't focus on themselves, and yet they want to be on the level of the person that has done the work. They want to see themselves as being on that same level. And so they will degrade the person that actually did the work. They'll try to tear down the people that actually did the work out of jealousy. It's a lot of jealousy on this planet. Very envious spirits on this planet. And so for the chosen ones, it's like, well, how the fuck do we deal with that? We can't even, it's like, how do you deal with that level of jealousy and envy? Even from the people that run the system, you're dealing with jealousy, because honestly, a lot of rich people are dumb as fuck. We all know that. Or some of them are very intelligent. They deserve their gifts, so they deserve their wealth or whatever. But then we know that some of them have taken a lot of shortcuts. And so it's like, those who have the real gifts that they have either sacrificed or tried to take a birthright from, they're jealous of those people. They'll still be jealous of you, and you don't have as much as them. You don't have the money, you don't have the cars, you won't have, but you're still dealing with jealousy from people that you perceive to be more powerful than you or have more influence to you. This is a real thing. and you don't understand why. You don't get it, and you be like, well, that person got this and that and that. It don't matter about none of that. Most you don't know what them you don't know what them people do, or what them people had to do to get what they have, and most of the time, what we're uncovering is in the fruits of the labor speak for itself. Is that does that person have real talent? Is that person really gifted? Does that person? That's how you look at the fruit of their labor. Look at the fruit that they bear. That's how you can tell. Some people are legitimate geniuses. Some people are legitimate, excellent purveyors of knowledge, excellent athletes, excellent artists, painters, writers. That's a real thing. Look at their body of work. Look at what they produce. Look at who's all around them. Do they have handlers? Do they have a system backing them? And that's how you can see whether somebody got real talent or whether they being pushed. And most of the time, if they're being pushed by the mainstream, it's because they serve in their agenda. Look at the people that around him that suffer. That's why I don't have no sympathy for that P Diddy situation. That's why you don't see me putting on no cape for no P Diddy, because a lot of people around him, real gifted, talented people, suffered because of his bullshit. He's not the one that all the talent. He's not really that talented. It's the people around him that's talented. Stevie J was the talented producer. He produced "Hypnotize" by Biggie. That beat, but don't that beat is a banger. That's a banger. That was Stevie J that produced that. You know, Toto. That's the talent. The people around him was the talented motherfuckers, and he was sucking their energy and screwing them over. 112. Those were the real talents, and so that's how I see it. Like, no, you was sucking off the energy of the real gifted people. I don't let that's why I'm telling you in 2024, don't let people do that shit to you. If you know you got real gifts and you got a motherfucker that's copying or trying to sniping or whatever they trying to do, trying to take a birthright, trying to do whatever they trying to do, you call that shit out. Put they ass on a summer jam. Like we gotta be ruthless with these motherfuckers, because this is a satanic agenda that these people are Satanists. These people are wicked, and they don't give a damn about none of the shit we talking about in terms of justice and righteousness and love and peace. They don't give a shit about none of that shit we think about. They don't think like us. They have no idea what we talking about. They just see materialism, greed, delusions of grandeur. They are into this matrix Maya system, and they think about who they got to serve, who the entities they got to serve and do their bidding for, so that they can get to the next level in the game, in the system, for more material gains and wealth and quote unquote fame and fortune. This that's the game they play. And so those of us trying to come in peace and enlightenment and work together, and these people ain't thinking about that shit. I learned the hard way. I'm telling you firsthand. I know that they ain't thinking about none of that shit. Are you going in there thinking that, oh, you found some good ass friends who think like you? It was about love, and for love. In my case, it was like this Black American stuff I was all on. Oh, we about reparations on this. Them motherfuckers saw me as a easy mark. They looked at me like, oh hell no, this motherfucker just come up in this bitch, able to rile up Black Americans like that and produce the amount of material and books and the knowledge that they've given out. How do we got to clamp? Like, that's how they thought. That's how they looked at me, as an easy meal ticket. And when they got sinister, it got real sinister, real, really, really, really ugly. And so, y'all, this is what we're dealing with as chosen ones. And so you shouldn't surround yourself with untalented, hard luck people. You shouldn't surround yourself with people who want to be you. You shouldn't surround yourself. That's how we deal with these people. Don't surround yourself with motherfuckers that I don't care how it sounds. People could say, "Oh, that's elitist." What you shit? What you gonna take the Magneto route, or you could take Charles Xavier route and get you and your peoples killed? You saw the first. Well, look at the first X-Men and the second X-Men and all that stuff, and you see how he was giving all this information, telling everybody where all the mutants was, where all the X-Men's were, all the mutants, and what happened. They were all getting rounded up by the military and killed because of Charles Xavier. And then Magneto was like, "Oh, see, you was wrong for that. You caused this. It's your fault because you wanted us to get along, and that humans don't want no peaceful coexistence with us." This is what happened. And so we have to think about that as chosen ones. Do we want to commingle with these people or not? I don't care how it sounds. How elitist it sound. How do we want to approach it? I do know there's a very sinister forces on this planet. You ain't gonna convince me otherwise. I've seen it. I've seen it in dead in front of my motherfucking face. And I know, uh, and so I'm not naive like I was a year ago. A year ago, I was very fucking naive. A year ago was March. Oh yeah, I was pretty fucking naive in March. I was still with on bullshit, just doing. I mean, I was still writing and doing my little thing and whatnot, but I was still very fucking naive a year ago. Didn't know shit outside, not spiritually. I mean, I knew spiritual stuff like in the typical sense of like, oh, I know about tantra, I know about the planets, I know about that type. I'm talking about how this shit really work. You know how it really get down. And so, yeah, you have to ask yourself that how do we approach humanity as chosen ones? How do we approach them? Do we let these niggas just fry out on their own, leave them on their own to figure it out? Do we put the smack down on them like the Houthi and the Anunnaki? How are we going to approach them? Do we let them learn the hard way, or do we continue to coddle and baby? Which approach are we going to take as chosen ones, particularly chosen ones that are interdimensional? What are we going to do? Are you going to choose the Charles Xavier route or the Magneto route? God amongst men, God amongst insects. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And so that's the conundrum that is the conversation we are having in the spiritual realm. That is the conversation we are having. And so I'm going to get off of here because I'm going to do one more video and I'm going to chill out because I know I'm on a roll. I've been bumping my gums. Y'all know I'm long winded and I like to talk. I'll bump my damn gums. Well, I want to give you the links for my readings that I've been doing. But the next video I'm going to do, I want to talk about the concept of quantum entanglement and versus possession, and what happens when can a person handle entities overtaking them? What is the dangers of conjuring certain entities, like how people become possessed with various. I want to talk about the differences between channeling. I just want to get deep. I want to talk about that because I was really thinking about that, and I know people have some scary thoughts about that. And I have some disclaimers and warnings and whatnot that I want to talk about in regards to that as well. And so that's gonna be my next video. Then I think I'm done for the night. I done damn bump these gums all night, all day practically. So I'm gonna talk to y'all later. I'll be back in like 10 minutes probably. So y'all have a good night. I'll see you in the next live.
Are you ready for a mesmerizing linguistic journey? Step into the enchanting world of Tut language, an invaluable part of Black American heritage. Delve deep into this unique language where every word resonates with the rhythm of a resilient culture. Explore thoughtfully designed lessons that unravel the linguistic intricacies of Tut, from pronunciation variations to regional influences. Engage in interactive language games like word matching and pronunciation challenges that will deepen your understanding and sharpen your skills. Dive into live Tut bingo, historical and cultural role-play scenarios, and weekly open mic sessions featuring Tut music and poetry. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to celebrate culture and embrace language. Enroll now and start your Tut language adventure. Enroll now and receive 3 free Tut language books, thoughtfully created by colleague J.N.S. It's an invaluable addition to your learning experience.